Great to have you listening here on Thursday. Listen, we've got breaking news to start this thing. I'll tell you, once again, Rusty, our fact checker, has come through. Yesterday, we told this story. Rusty was talking about the death of Roberta Flack, who died earlier in the week. And we had done the obituary already. And Rusty, who is our fact checker, emailed after we had done the obituary saying, I wish I'd had this for you from Roberta Flack before you talked about it on the air. What did I do with that email? Delete.
Too little, too late, Rusty.
Too little, too late. Deleted. Gone.
We covered Roberta Flack.
Right.
Rusty, I don't know if you heard.
Right. I walk in the next day. Chris Demm said, did you see the video Rusty sent about Roberta Flack? And were you weeping on the floor as I expected you to be? And I said, I deleted that without hesitation and without even reading the body of the email. So I go back. It turns out to be an amazing piece of work from Roberta Flack and Lee Greenwood from 1987, giving me all the feels, as they say, all the feels. So today, and I said, I've learned my lesson. I will read what Rusty writes from now on. Rusty tries to help this program, okay? He's a friend to this show. So today, get here, usual time. Rarely do I get an email at that time. This is shortly after 4 a.m. Chris Demm is here. We're doing our usual stuff, ignoring each other and typing. Preparing.
Mumbling and grunting every now and then.
Putting the grid together, okay? Mumble, grumble, Chris Demm complaining about something, some
stupid machine.
Piece of technology that's
I'm hitting control.
That's right. Okay, right. Suddenly, there's an email. It's from Rusty. Rusty says, breaking news, just seeing this. I say to myself, who cares? Click, delete. Chris Demm says, did you read this from Rusty? I said, no. I went ahead and deleted it. I said, nothing's going to get in my way right now. I'm preparing the grid. I said, we're an hour and a half from showtime. I'm preparing the grid. What could possibly have come up? Chris Demm says, you better read that. So I have to go into my trash. All right.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
Not as easy as it sounds. It's like, so I say to Chris, you better re-forward me.
Just forward it.
Just forward it. Or just send it to me. Why don't you just tell me what The great Gene Hackman has died. 95-year-old Gene Hackman, a phenomenal actor. And Rusty alerted us to that an hour and a half
Shattering
ago.
The grid.
Oh, the grid's in tatters. There might as well. Biggie, you can take this grid and light it on fire.
I'd like to.
Now, making matters worse, I mean, that's bad enough. Right? Gene Hackman has died. A great actor. A great actor. At the age of 95. So then we're like, oh, what movies? He's in so many great things. It's breaking, it's 90 minutes before showtime. Biggie walks in. I say, get me everything we've got on Gene Hackman. Biggie says, we have nothing on Gene Hackman. Nothing.
There's no Hackman file.
Yeah.
Per se.
I think you give yourself, maybe all of us, too much credit when anyone dies. And you go, give me everything we've got on insert name, because I know in my head, we don't have anything.
Nothing.
Where's the Liza Minnelli folder?
Yeah.
A what?
And I don't know why it is you think we have these things.
I said, get me everything we've got on Gene Hackman.
Hackman.
He writes, 2 minutes later, he calls back in. We have nothing on Gene Hackman. What?
Nothing.
You got to start scrambling.
And I've spelled it right.
So we scramble.
What movie was he in?
What was Gene Hackman in? Well, he was in a lot, and we do have some. And listen, we're going to have to talk about this all day. This is breaking. This is breaking news.
This is one of those stories that is so odd. I mean, if chances are you may not have ever seen a Gene Hackman movie. He's 95 years old. He hadn't made a movie in 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But a superb actor, as Kelly said.
Oh yes.
But he, at the age of 95. So good an actor that they report found dead.
Well, and here's why.
Because of the circumstances.
Now, here are the circumstances. You think to yourself, okay, he's 95. He died in his sleep. Whatever it might have been. It's old age. He's dead. His wife, 30 years his junior, is also dead. And a dog is dead.
Apparently, a neighbor called the local authorities in New Mexico.
That's right.
And said, I haven't seen him in a while. Can you do a welfare check?
That's right. So they go by late yesterday afternoon. They find the body of Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, in their home in Santa Fe alongside their dog. They've been married since 1991. She's way younger than him. Local media has reported no foul play.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first you're like, well, first you hear Gene Hackman's dead. Oh no, that's terrible.
Was he ill?
What
did we not
he's
hear?
95.
Right.
And then you hear his wife is dead, and you think, could there be murder-suicide?
Yeah,
What's
foul
going
play.
on here? Foul play. Then you hear no foul play and dog dead. So it's like, why would there be a dead dog? I thought carbon monoxide poisoning, but nobody said that yet. Nobody has said anything yet.
It fits the bill, though.
It does.
Mhm.
I mean, wouldn't you think? But we haven't heard that officially yet.
Yeah.
Sheriff's deputies arrived at the couple's home in a gated community in the afternoon and investigated the death of 2 elderly people and a dog. They discovered the bodies of a man in his 90s, a woman in her 60s, and later confirmed it is Gene Hackman and his wife. I'm devastated because I love Gene Hackman. He was great.
It hurts that they called the wife elderly.
I know she's in her 60s. I know. We didn't have to say that.
We are peers, she and
We
me.
didn't have to say that, did we?
But it's true. You can fight it all you want.
It's a fact. I guess they start calling you elderly when you get into your 60s. It's not right. It's not right, but that's what they do. And we're living longer. So
I'd say 70s now.
I agree. I think put it in your 70s now when you're quote unquote elderly.
Always moving the old goal line.
That's right. I don't like that term elderly. Although I did just hear a comedian say, he was talking to the audience and he said, if you're in the audience and you're older and you think, oh, I still look like the young people in the audience, you don't.
Accurate.
That's fact.
Yeah.
When I see a photo of myself, I always think I'm, I feel like I'm still 25, but then I see a photo of myself with 25-year-olds and go, oh,
Oof.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're grandpa.
Yeah, I made a video yesterday. We have a 5K on the airport runway coming up, and our promo man said, I need a video today promoting this.
Ooh.
You can imagine my reaction.
Fresh off your boat show video?
That's right. Well, that got so many accolades.
I don't think anyone ever saw that.
Remember the boat show? Oh,
Yeah.
man. Woo!
Biggie was gonna it was gonna be a 3-person shoot.
We're going to do a Titanic theme.
Titanic thing.
Scrapped it at the last minute and did something else. Okay, yeah.
I just want to make sure the runway is going to be shut down, right?
Well, God, I hope. I've done this many times before.
Too many air accidents this year.
No kidding. God, maybe this is not the best idea. But they said, do a video to promote the 5K at the runway. Well, I said to my wife, I don't have enough lead time on this. He said, I need this by tomorrow morning.
Time to
I said,
prepare.
I don't have time to prepare this. And now they got the Gene Hackman death. The grid's in tatters. So I did it yesterday, and my wife shot it for me. I went out in the...
She shot it.
She shot it. I said, I need a...
Lights not right. Move.
Right. Went out in the...
Just hit record.
Had to go
Out in the cul-de-sac?
Out in the cul-de-sac. And she said, well, whatever you do, don't get... She said, you have to run in this very specific spot. It was me running away from the camera. And she said, I cannot have our home in this shot. And
No, there can be no clues as to
Exactly.
the location.
I know. And she looked it over many times. And I said, is there any giveaway? And she goes, no. There's
Did
just...
you do that thing the directors do when they sort of block out the scene with their hands?
Yeah. And she said, I only see trees. I only see trees
Okay,
in the
good.
background. It could be.
Is that a loblolly pine? Or is that a white oak?
I mean, you don't want people figuring things out.
Should we go shoot this in a middle-class neighborhood?
I am not getting in the car to shoot this video. I'm not putting on...
Well,
I'm not taking off my sweats.
I shot it, or she shot it.
How
and
many takes? Can I ask?
One. She said, I can do that again. I said, no, that's it. I was late. I was like, I'm not doing it again. That's it. They get what they get. That's it. That's the kind of professionalism I was displaying on this.
You know who didn't have that attitude?
Gene Hackman. In fact, we have Gene Hackman. He's talking about maybe the role he's most known for. Maybe. I mean, there's so many.
I know.
As Popeye Doyle in French Connection. And he was talking about how when he was in French Connection, it was the first time he had worked with the director, William Friedkin, who also did The Exorcist, right?
Correct.
And he said it was a completely different experience for him.
The film was totally different than anything I'd ever done. I'd never shot that much outside, and especially in the wintertime, and especially in those conditions where we were just at it all the time. At least that's my recollection of it. And I don't think I've ever been pushed as much by a director either, which was really good for me. I was intrigued that Billy had such a command of what he wanted to do with the film. And Billy's the kind of guy, a perfectionist, that if he doesn't see it, it's not there. And so you just have to keep at it until it becomes there.
Eerie parallels between that and my shoot yesterday. My wife is a perfectionist, and she's not going to do it unless she sees it,
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
I was out there at the bottom of our driveway, good 5-6 minutes.
I must say. And it was an outdoor shoot. This is an outdoor shoot.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of the elements.
100% right. It's it's wintertime.
Are you recording? Should I go? Give me a signal.
Give me something.
Give me a 3, 2, 1 or something.
Well, when I looked at it later, I thought, I look old in this video. I'm starting to show. It's those varicose veins, I got that, and I really want to get that cleaned up from, I don't know, I think you can do that, and I look at it, and I think, that looks bad, and I think people will comment on that. But, I mean, I don't care.
But you're so healthy now. You got to look at what you,
right.
Right. Those veins weren't visible years ago because of the layers of fat you've now removed.
I guess you're right about that. I guess.
I mean, you should be proud of those veins.
I guess I should be.
I don't have veins.
Okay, I guess I should be proud of those veins because as the fat receded, the veins came into play. And I said to my wife, "Is there any way you can make me look more attractive?" And she said, "No, I have.
There's no filter for that.
No, there's nothing she could do." So we shot it. That was it. It was done. It's out there.
Will it triple interest in the event?
I can't imagine.
I mean, coming off the success of Boat Show video, who can...
That Boat Show video got me a lot. That was a... I remember people saying, man...
Why are we selling all these boats? Who saw this coming? I thought we were in a recession. We're not. Our boats are flying off the shelves.
Boats are flying off the shelves. Must have been that video that DJ did. That boob talking about this must have done on video. Then I got a shot. There's a new picture of us on a billboard today. Got a shot of that on the way in today. And I thought, I look old. That shot.
Who's the old guy up there with Biggie and Demm?
That facial shot. And I thought, that makes me look old. I still think of myself, as 20. But we're not, are we? We're just not anymore. So that's the breaking news. Gene Hackman has passed, and he's 95 years old. Now, the movie I know him most for me, it's Hoosiers. I loved it. I saw it, in the 80s and thought it was phenomenal. But he's in Bonnie and Clyde. He's in The Firm. He's in a lot more, too. I mean, he's in
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
Get Shorty. Magnificent turn in Get Shorty.
I loved him in The Firm.
I did, too. I thought he was great in The Firm.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'd read the book, which is really good. And then the movie's great, too. And I don't think he was credited for The Firm until you didn't know he was going to be in it until the movie started. And they're like, Gene Hackman.
He was one of those guys who, like in French Connection, he was the good guy, quote unquote, chasing the bad guys.
Right.
But he had this edge. He always had kind of that dark-sided edge.
Yes. I was going through some research because as we've just heard, Gene Hackman dies suddenly, and we had absolutely nothing. So I had to this morning go and look at different things about Gene Hackman. Clint Eastwood called him. He wanted Gene Hackman for this role. They had never worked together, and they had always been friends, and he liked him a lot, of course, his acting. They're probably about the same age. What's Eastwood's, 96?
Around
there. He's up there. He's getting up there now. And Hackman just died at 95. So Eastwood calls him and says, I want you to play this character who's Little Bill, who's really violent. And Hackman said, I'm not going to do any more violent characters. I've played characters with that edge for so long that I'm done with that. And Eastwood said, yeah, but if you read this script and we do it right, you're going to see where this is like a message to not be violent, which I guess it is. I only saw Unforgiven once in the theater.
Yeah, it was a twist on the classic Western, which you're not familiar with, the genre.
That may be the only Western I've ever seen. Let's be honest about it. I mean, this is my year of not pretending to be something I'm not. That's my non-negotiable. I've seen Unforgiven, and that might be the only Western I've ever seen. I've never seen a John Wayne movie. I've never seen one of the spaghetti Westerns. I've never seen The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I've never seen any of that stuff. I've seen Unforgiven, and I remember thinking at the time, this is overrated, because it won a lot of Oscars.
Did it get Best Picture?
I think it did. I think
it did, yeah.
And I thought, this is overrated. But now, in looking back, maybe maybe I should see it again.
A rewatch?
It might get a rewatch.
Do you know what his last movie was?
I'm going to guess Welcome to Mooseport.
You got it.
Okay.
And it's shocking. It was over 20 years ago.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah.
I read.
When he said he retired, he was really retired.
Well, I heard
too.
that he had some sort of an issue where the doctor said you really need to take it easy, and he did, but he lived 20 more years, you know, and then died under very mysterious circumstances. I'm sure we'll hear more about this in the coming days.
His second to last movie is another good one that I don't think a ton of people saw. I know we've seen it. Runaway Jury.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
He's so good.
Yeah.
at
He's
that.
good in that
That's
too.
really
He's
good.
the heavy.
Yeah.
He's just a great actor. I mean, whatever he plays, you look at it and you're like, you don't think, oh my God, that's Gene Hackman. It's whatever character it is.
Yeah.
He's just great. This is a line from Unforgiven, which at the time I thought was overrated, but now I think is worth a second watch. This is him appearing on the screen, I believe for the first time, against an old foe.
Well, actually, what I heard was that you fell off your horse, drunk, of course, and that you broke your bloody neck.
I heard that one myself, Bob. Hell, I even thought I was dead. But I found out it was just that I was in Nebraska.
All right, no offense to our affiliates in Nebraska. Those of you listening in Nebraska, we apologize.
I think Richard Harris, I believe.
It was. That's right. And I don't remember how that scene ended, but everybody's pointing guns at everybody else. I don't know.
I don't think one walks away.
I don't think so either. I believe Richard Harris got it in that scene. You know, too, what my wife was saying, this will pertain to you, Chris Demm. Because my immediate thought here is carbon monoxide poisoning for Gene Hackman. Now, it may not be, but the dog, the wife, and Gene Hackman are dead and no foul play suspected. You know, my wife was saying yesterday, I didn't even think of this. Yesterday, if you missed it, about an hour into the show, somebody came into the room here and said to Chris Demm, your car's running. Which we all said, okay, listen, okay, he's getting elderly. He's older, but he knows
not that dense.
He knows how to turn off his car. Okay,
Yeah.
ha ha. And the guy Matt said, no, seriously,
man.
Yeah. So Chris Demm goes out. And he said, yep, my car.
Lo and behold.
Yep, it was
He
running.
was right.
Well, here's what happened. He was driving his wife's car yesterday, and she, absentmindedly thinking, forgetting they had switched cars, starts it from her phone 5 miles away, which is shocking. I mean, shocking
Right?
you could do that. Yeah, I didn't. Did you know she could do that?
No. I thought it was like 100-yard range on that
Yeah,
thing.
that was stunning to me. And when I got home, my wife said, I need to talk to you about something serious. Chris Demm's car being on. I said, yeah, ha ha. Big deal. Right, whatever. She said, if that car had been in a garage and you don't know it and you absentmindedly do it, then it's a carbon monoxide issue.
Fills up with carbon monoxide.
Yeah, that's
That's a
true.
great idea. Let me write that down.
We've all seen the scene in Office Space
Yes, yes.
where they jump to conclusions, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has a moment of clarity.
Exactly.
Thankfully, at the last moment.
He decides not to. How long do you think a car can run in a garage before you are succumb to carbon monoxide? Probably not too long. A couple of minutes.
Yeah.
2 to 5 minutes.
You know, in the
I guess.
olden days of radio, we would have sent a stunt boy out there to try it, but we can't do that
Can't
anymore.
do that.
Not anymore. No.
In the 70s, the Q Zoo would have done it or something like that.
We just let him pass out
Pass
and bring
out
him
and
back.
save
yeah,
him.
we'll
Yeah.
revive him.
That's how, I mean, yeah, he's not going to be dead or anything, but